With Apex Legends having 20 characters in its arsenal as of Season 12 of the game, it's quite common for newer players or even current players to ponder the question, which characters should I truly stick with instead of just springing around all of them? Hello, my name is No Royalty, perhaps the greatest player in the trash can level of Apex, and today I present to you the 5 highest pick rated characters in Apex Legends. Coming in at number 5, we have the friendly neighbourhood quirky Marvin robot Pathfinder, who currently has a play rate of 7.9% out of the entire Apex community. He is what is known as a recon based character, meaning that he has the ability to scan survey beacons scattered across all of the maps in order to reveal the next ring and safe area. Bundled in with this ability is also his passive, which allows him to save 10 seconds off of his tactical and ultimate ability cooldowns after using a survey beacon. His tactical ability is the use of a one-time grapple line. This can be attached to pretty much every surface in the game and allows him to swing from it, allowing for easy and fast maneuverability in a gunfight or just for quick and easy traversal across the map when used properly and effectively. His ultimate ability allows the deployment of a end-to-end zip line with a range of about 30 to 40 meters. This zipline can be used by both him and his team so long as the zipline does not get destroyed. Pathfinder is a very fun character to use. His abilities make him quite fast at maneuvering, but using these abilities correctly in a gunfight can turn the tide between losing the gunfight and winning it, or even just escaping it. And overall, Pathfinder's attitude is very happy, it's very quirky, it's very funny. He's a simple robot after all, and it's easy to see why a lot of the player base actually like playing as him. Coming in at number 4 is Bloodhound, the hunter of Apex. I know quite a few people who have chosen to main Bloodhound. I mean, hell, one of my friends who I play with will refuse to give them up to anyone. Bloodhound is a perfect character for anyone who is new to the game and likes to get as much intel on enemy players as possible. Bloodhound is classed as a recon based character like Pathfinder, meaning that they can scan the survey beacons scattered across all the maps to reveal the next ring location. However, it does not receive the cooldown extension like Pathfinder does. Instead, Bloodhound's passive ability allows them to see footprints of recent players who have been in the area within the last 90 seconds. This can allow for Bloodhound to quite easily track down the enemy team that they are chasing, who have run away from a gunfight, or in order just to find a reason to get into a fight, or just to observe and ready for a third party. Bloodhound's tactical ability is what is effectively an area scan, sending out a red sonar ping that highlights players no matter if they are taking cover or even just chilling inside of a building. This will also cause a pop-up to appear on the player's screen indicating how many players have been caught in the ping, and will also view extra information alongside the footsteps in the area, including things such as sliding and vaulting over objects. Bloodhound's ultimate ability will allow him to enter what is known as Beast of the Hunt mode. This will slightly grey out the player's vision, but highlights any players in red when they are in Bloodhound's POV. Beast of the Hunt mode will also increase the player's movement speed and significantly reduce the cooldown and the usage speed of Bloodhound's tactical ping. Overall, Bloodhound is a very easy character to use if you are brand new to the game, and for people like my friends, they prove extra useful once you have used them a lot and gotten used to how their abilities work and operate. But for anyone who is freshly starting up with Apex, Bloodhound is definitely a viable choice. Coming in at number 3, we have Valkyrie, who is one of the definitions of a fun character to play as. Valkyrie is the daughter of a former Titan pilot from the Titanfall series, and after her father's death, she used the parts from his Titan to form her own jetpack with missiles. Much like the characters prior, Valkyrie also has the recon ability to scan survey beacons to find the next ring location, but unfortunately doesn't get the tactical and ultimate cooldown advantages. Her passive ability is the use of said jetpack, which can be used to soar up into the sky to get a better advantage in a gunfight. However, it does mean you can get shot down in the process. It can also just be used for general traversing of the map and accessing areas that are very tricky for other players to get into, giving you a perfect vantage point. Her tactical ability is the use of the missiles strapped to her jetpack, which fire in a 4x3 grid in an area where the player chooses, up to 45 meters. These missiles will stun enemies, causing 24 to 25 damage to them, whilst also slowing their movements and slightly impairing their vision for a couple of seconds, allowing for the team to quickly rush in and get the job done. Valkyrie's ultimate ability allows her and her team to launch up into the sky as if they were dropping into the map for the first time. This allows for quick and easy repositioning in order to avoid taking ring damage or for a quick escape from a gunfight that you and your team are significantly struggling to win. With Valkyrie having a jetpack, this significantly increases her maneuverability during combat or just generally walking around the map. Valkyrie is one of the characters that I personally play a hell of a lot of, just because with the use of her jetpacks and her missiles. However, in order to balance her out, while she is using her jetpack, she does not have the ability to use any of her weapons except from the missiles strapped to her jetpack. Newer players to Apex may find getting used to Valkyrie a little bit tricky, as it does take quite a bit of practice in order to properly time when to use the jetpacks, as there is a brief animation after letting the jetpack go before you can pull out your weapon and start shooting. Is one of my personal favourite characters to play as, and equally as fun for everyone else to use, hence why she's at the number 3 spot. Coming in at the number 2 spot is Wraith, a character who causes quite a bit of a stir in the Apex community. A backstory: she was experimented on and she ended up losing half her memories, and her whole purpose in the Apex games is to find out who she really is. But in doing so also brings out all the potential TTV mains. All they do is play as her, they quit the game as soon as they die. But her abilities are actually more of the useful type when it comes to team combat. Her passive ability is a voice inside of her head that lets her know when an enemy or enemies are aiming at her or looking in her general direction.
They're aiming right at you.
She can then use these to alert the rest of her team that they're currently being aimed at, so they can reposition and take cover and figure out where exactly they're about to get shot from. Her tactical ability is something called Into the Void, and the Void is a place between realities where this voice in her head comes from. Whilst in the Void, she can traverse around the area of the map for a couple of seconds whilst not taking any damage, and with the slightly increased movement speed, and is also invisible to the enemy players if she is running from a gunfight. Using the Void as well also stops Wraiths from taking zone damage for a couple of seconds that they are in it. Wraith's ultimate ability is a two-way portal. She can choose exactly where the first portal is placed, and she runs to the other end in order to place the second portal. This portal can be used by herself, her teammates, and pretty much anyone who runs up into it, whether they're on the team or not. Players do not take damage, they cannot be seen whilst in it. Overall, Wraith is a complex character with a deep backstory and a very big split of opinion across the Apex community. Once her abilities have been mastered by a player, Wraiths are, very, very difficult to take down, but it's very obvious to see why a lot of the player base uses her, because her abilities actually can be proved useful in open combat. And lastly, in our number 1 spot today is the Speed Demon, the Drug Junkie. He's known by many things in Apex, but most people just call him Octane. Octane is addicted to adrenaline. He loves the thrill of facing death. I mean, hell, he lost his legs in a prank video involving a grenade. And he is currently the highest played character in Apex, occupying over 12% of the player base. Octane is by far the fastest character in Apex. His passive ability allows him to slowly regenerate his health without the use of a medkit or a syringe. That is mainly done to counteract his tactical ability, but I'll get to that shortly. But his passive alone makes him extra viable in gunfights, because all he's got to do is dip out of it for a couple of seconds and his health slowly starts to regenerate. His tactical ability is the use of a stim shot. This increases his speed by an extraordinary amount, making him faster than any other player or any other legend in the game. This is useful for getting in and out of gunfights really quick. It's useful if you want to be that sort of player that just steals everyone's loot and you've got to be there as fast as you can. But it also helps more when you're pinned down and you're getting shot at. It just helps to get you out of there a little bit faster. His ultimate is something that the entire team can use, and yes, it's something that the enemy can use as well, but it's the use of a jump pad, which sends anyone who goes near it soaring into the air, which makes rushing into gunfights a hell of a lot quicker, so you can get the drop on the enemy and surprise them. It makes getting out of gunfights quicker, because if you're losing it, you're going to need to get out of there quick, and that jump pad's one of the only ways out for the whole team. Overall, Octane is one of them characters that just because of his sheer speed and his attitude, it makes him extra fun and appealing to players, and especially recently with the 3-year anniversary, a lot of new Apex players managed to get the character for free. As the only drawback to Octane was the fact that every time he takes a stim shot, he loses 20 HP. Yes, when you're out of a gunfight, that is made up for by his regenerating health. But whilst you're in a gunfight, that puts you that inch closer to death. And when you stim when you're too low health, it will put you to a literal 1 HP moment where anything can kill you. Octane is definitely designed for the players who are like him. Enjoy the thrill. So there you have it, the top 5 current legends who have the highest pick rate across the entire community of Apex Legends. My name has been No Royalty. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'll see you all another time.